Welcome to Saints and Sinners Booze Club. We, this month, are taking a look at drinks that relate to the Kentucky Derby. You know, horses, horse racing. This is the Kentucky Derby weekend, and, you know, we just want to pay tribute.
Well, shout out to Justify for taking the win. Cheers to that. For this episode, we decided to bring in the experts from Saratoga Springs, because if you're going to do a Kentucky Derby weekend, you got to bring in the pros. So today, we have with us Just Whitt of Shred Till Death Films, or as we like to call it, STD. We also have David Boshek of North Country Mountain Biking. You can probably see these guys. And we're also have them here today to sample some of our finest drinks ever.
Booze. Okay, so I brought Blanche Bourbon. It's a beautiful bourbon. A lot of cherry, a lot of vanilla. You can really taste the barrel. This is from Warehouse H. And they were the first ones to do a single barrel whiskey. It's just a wonderful concept because all of the barrels taste differently throughout the warehouses, and when you really find that sweet spot, it's a really special thing, and people just don't really understand that, but it really is special. Having a single barrel whiskey means that it's not blended with other barrels throughout the warehouse. This bottle came specifically from one barrel in Warehouse H. And it's just a phenomenal concept that was brought to us from Blanche Bourbon. Way a long time ago, they started this, like, fucking, like, 1800s or some shit. And then they started doing it again very recently. And so, because we're referencing the Kentucky Derby today, I'm going to do Whiskey on the Rocks. It's a refreshing drink. You know, it's a little chilled, so it cools you down a little bit. In the heat of the Kentucky Derby, you don't really want to be drinking straight whiskey without ice because it's fucking hot out there. Not so much this weekend because it's fucking rained. Horse shit. But it was a good race anyway. And here we go. Voila.
Oh, that's good.
That's delicious.
That's a great idea.
This one,
It hits my taste buds in such a manner.
it's a little sweet.
It is
That's
sweet.
good.
It's smooth. It's super smooth. Super smooth. Like there's no burn.
What were those flavors that you said?
No burns.
The ice.
Cherry,
Change
vanilla.
Cherry
Taste
and
a little
vanilla.
bit of oak.
I think I taste
I love it. I drank all mine.
Yep. Does anybody?
I'm working on it. It's a delicious drink for sure.
I'm gonna drink this one. I don't know whose it was.
Well, all right. Going with the classics, and of course, in stride with the Kentucky Derby. Me being half man, half horse, I know a thing or two about the Kentucky Derby.
Which half is the horse?
It's genetic. Let's say it's genetic. I'm 85% genetic material is that of a horse.
It's not how.
And let's say it rears its head in some of the more unseen regions. But anyways, you know, back to the topic at hand.
Shannon, would you like to put in on this?
I made him the shirt.
Well, then obviously it's for a reason. I mean, that means if he really is half man, half horse, he's got to have a cock like a horse.
I also had sex with him, and he is hung like a horse.
Wow!
Please continue making the beverages now.
This is great footage.
No.
But, you know, so what we're going to do with this, to make this great drink, and it's an old classic, we're going to start out with a couple leaves of mint in the bottom of the glass, and goes these. simple syrup. Simple syrup for you, Dave. And now look at this. This looks a lot like a stone, but this is my pestle, and we're gonna kind of
infuse the flavor.
Oh yeah, we're gonna open up the oils trapped within these. We're mulling these babies down. Now, let's add our ice.
There's no ice cube for it. Just use your hands.
I know. It's okay. I'm gonna cut it.
So far, looking really good. And again, with the Woodford Reserve, keeping in tradition, being that we're traditional guys. Lucky enough to get Dave, and just down here, we got to do some serious shredding on the bikes. Dave, you find it to your approval?
Oh, great trails.
Cool.
Great system.
These guys definitely fulfilled their contractual obligations. They went out, rode with furious hangovers, and still rode like champions. And, you know, it's kind of great to have them along.
You earned this drink, right?
Oh,
All right.
sure. Now this again is your hot day sipper. Garnish, garnish, and away we go. There you have it, your Woodford Reserve Mint Julep. Very simple, tasty, and like I said, refreshing.
Okay.
So, Kimmer used the Woodford Reserve, which is the signature bourbon of the Kentucky Derby. That's what they use in all of their mint juleps.
That's not what they use in Saratoga, though.
Well, fuck Saratoga.
What? Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
Kentucky is what we're talking about this weekend.
Well, but we know that the best racetrack in America is Saratoga. So, with that being said,
We should
let's
probably
try this
try
drink.
these.
Cheers.
Ooh, the mint. I can taste so much mint.
A lot of mint.
there's a lot of mint in there.
What's
Wow,
in
I
this
love it.
I can taste the
Whiskey
whiskey.
and something.
Ooh,
Whiskey
whiskey
and mint.
and
Whiskey and
mint.
mint.
Simple syrup. Ooh, I like it.
Definitely taste the whiskey.
I bet a couple of these will lay you out quick.
I love it.
Really good.
It's up there with one of my favorites.
Oh
Definitely
my.
refreshing.
Honestly,
I'm not sure though that I could
You
drink
could
like
thin
a
it
whole
out a
drink.
little
This
bit
is-
with ice
this
if you
is-
wanted to make it last
this
a
is
bit
how much
longer.
I love the mint.
This is
But-
good.
Say it.
Cool.
I'm gonna. All right. Mint julep, not for me. I don't like it. I
I'm
think
gonna
there's.
go-
I think there's too much shit going on. But I don't like mint chocolate chips and all that kind of shit too.
There's only like
So you don't
3
like
flavors.
mint?
I'm gonna go lick a cat's asshole to get the flavor out of my mouth. So I think we're done filming.
Bye.
So I decided for this edition of Booze Club, I'm going to do something called the Wagering Whiskey Pop. And I chose this because it appeared to be something that was light and refreshing. Like Tommy said, the Kentucky Derby typically tends to be very hot, and you want something that's going to get you through the course of a day.
You
So,
don't want to get too sweaty out there.
no, you definitely don't. So, what I did was some peach whiskey, Prosecco. We're going to do some orange bitters, a little bit of simple syrup, and I added pear and Cortland apples to put in for a little bit of a garnish. So I'm going to start with the simple syrup. Just a drop of it. There you go. I'm going to add my orange bitters. Just a couple dashes of that.
Dashy.
Yep, and I'm going to stir it with this giant knife.
I like the way this is going right now.
Then,
I like the way it's going.
yep, because it's Kentucky Derby weekend, I'm going to use my shot glass with my racehorses on it. And I'm going to do one of these. Okay. Then I'm going to add some fruit in this. And then I'm going to use this knife that I'm going to later stab Just Whitt with.
I do feel like slightly fresh.
Water up the nose.
Yep. And we're going to add some crushed ice.
I got this too.
And then we're going to top it off with the Prosecco.
Ooh, the little, like the bubbly finish, like a little bam.
Damn right.
Those are good.
Okay,
Yep.
excellent.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to this
And
one,
here
I
you
think.
go. This is the Wagering Whiskey Pot.
Shannon made this beautiful drink with an apple in it, and it looks wonderful.
Looks
So
refreshing.
we're going to taste it.
I'm picking up a peach note. Right off the nose.
There's tons of peach, a lot of
Get the
apple.
apple.
Prosecco. Yeah, that you can. I think that was a real limey dirt that the Prosecco actually grape was grown in, but this is actually a really palatable, easy to drink like if you were on a hot day and you were at the Kentucky Derby.
No, that was very.
This is awesome. Very sweet.
No,
Great
well,
for summer.
Here's the
The
thing.
fizziness.
The thing about this drink is it wasn't too sweet. Like you could definitely taste the alcohol, but there were sweet notes, so it was smooth, but it wasn't over sugary. That's the difference between this drink and most mixed drinks. Most mixed drinks are very sugary and a little overpowering, and they'll fucking give you a hangover.
I feel like this could be dangerous.
Oh yeah,
Very,
oh, yeah.
very.
Delicious.
Good,
Yeah.
but
Double back.
the flavors are amazing.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm in the deep south.
Good job.
I'm Just Whitt, and I'm here with Nicole. I'm from Saratoga, but that doesn't really fucking matter. The point is, she doesn't even have any sort of drink. She came out with a dessert. Tell me all about it.
So today I made a custard, Kentucky Derby themed custard.
I've had a good custard before.
Custard. So it's mostly basically cream, sugar, eggs, and then it also uses this Whitt Kentucky bourbon. And then to be even more Kentucky Derby themed, it also has mint and rose petals.
Ooh. Do we consume the rose petals?
Yes, you can definitely eat them. Not the big ones on top. They get a little bit bitter, but the rest of them are cooked in there. So, and those are definitely edible.
Excellent.
So,
I'm very
you're
excited.
gonna taste this.
You hold on.
Alright, so
Okay.
we're eating this custard. It has roses and shit in it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, Kentucky Derby, fucking.
That's what we call
This
it.
is
Well, you're calling your
amazing.
titties all night.
This is so good.
No, you're.
Oh my God.
You're making me look at that.
This is good. It's
Yeah.
it's a good pudding, especially once you let it.
Oh my God, this is so good.
Custard is actually one of three various turds. There is custard, there is mustard. There's you big turd.
Hi, my name's Christopher. I'm from Saints to Sinners. I'm going to be introducing this Chardonnay that I got at the shitty Daffodil Festival. It has hints of like watermelons or apples or something. It's not that great, and it's definitely not any better than this. Can I lick those later? Okay.
I allow it. I allow it.
2 against 1. Alright, so here we go. Do you have your glass?
Smells spiritual.
It's very spiritual. In fact, you could say drinking it is inducting yourself into my cult.
Ooh.
Drink to that.
Verbal contract.
I like the way that sounds.
You guys are fucking awesome.
If you guys want any more, you can't have any. Because I took most of it. Thank you so much. Ah, got it! Yes! Yes.
Well, you know, me and Dave, we're from Saratoga. And if you know anything about real horse racing, like, you know,
Sorry I'm late.
Christopher joining us here today. But anyway, if you're from Saratoga, you know one of two things. One, tourists are fucking annoying. Two, you gotta get your booze in cheap when you're going into the horse race because it's fucking like $29 for a Heineken when you get in there. So, this is what you're gonna wanna do. Dave, start with an empty bottle of Fireball. Empty. I know this sounds kind of crazy. Empty bottle of Fireball. Then you're going to want to go ahead and get your fire box.
Fucking firebox
Okay?
and fireball container.
Now what this is this is a whole shit ton of Fireball. So then what you're going to do, can you fucking set it up for me, boys? you're gonna fucking just, you're gonna do one of these numbers, all right?
So you're gonna fill up the fucking fireball container with fireball.
The fireball box.
And
I know it seems.
Wait.
I know it seems slightly
You
crazy.
gotta have a lot of rings.
All right. So after you do that, you put the
Fill
top,
it up.
You put the top on it. Okay.
Where's the top?
And then you put it into your back pocket.
We're a little unorganized.
And then you walk into
with
the race,
fucking-
and then all
Whoa,
day
where's
long.
the top?
I don't have a top, boys.
Okay.
Here, you put the top on it, and then after you put the top on, you slip it into your back pocket, and
Just
you walk.
increase the value by 25%.
You walk into the racetrack,
I'll
and then
grab it.
bam, Christopher will get the bottle for you whenever you need it, and then there you go. You're ready to roll. Saratoga, this is how you drink at horse races if you don't have a lot of money. Welcome to the show.
So we have Just Whisk, wonderful flavor of Fireball. This is Kentucky Derby or Saratoga Springs wonderfulness. Obviously Fireball, cinnamon, whiskey. Okay.
Way to get your alcohol cheap.
Yes.
That's
way
right, we
to
just
get
learned that lesson.
Alcohol cheap. We're gonna find out what's going on with this shit.
Sniff it. Give it the sniff test.
That's what she said.
Exactly. That's what she said.
I think I can smell like the essence of cinnamon in this. It's pretty powerful.
Just the essence of it, though. Not the wine.
I almost smell heat, but it's not.
What do you think about it, Sean?
I think it goes down really easy.
Of course you do.
Tastes like Big Red.
It does taste
Definitely,
good.
Liquid
definitely
Big
smell
Red.
the cinnamon and the money saved.
I didn't spend any money on it.
Yeah, that's how I thought of it.
It's like
This does.
Exactly,
If this doesn't,
exactly.
just the smell alone, if this doesn't want to put you trackside, I can't think of anything that would.
it's like $8 for fucking 200 milliliters.
Yeah, something like that. I do believe it's,
It is more bang for your buck.
sure. You,
This cork came from a wine.
His asshole.
Trail rides.
Okay, his asshole and a wine that Christopher.
And I think it's
Raw.
disgusting.
Yes, thank you, Christopher.
Christopher thought everything was fucking disgusting.
This is the conclusion of the Fancy Centers Booze Club number 5.
You can't fucking talk, dude. Get out of here. Sharon, what's going on?
He needs to go. He needs to go. So we're wrapping up our Kentucky Derby weekend. We've seen so much amazing stuff. I don't even know where to start. This is getting really weird. So we're going to wrap it up. I want to say a big thank you to Dave Boshek from North Country Mountain Bike. That's North Country. I don't want you to forget that. Mountain Bike. Subscribe. And on top
North
of that,
Country MTB.
there he is. There he is. On top of that, we have Just Whitt from Shred Till Death, or otherwise, we like to say STD.
Just
you, STD, come into the camera.
This is Christopher.
Come in here. This is Christopher. He was an instant.
No.
Herpes case.
Immediately, Christopher was one of us.
I gave everyone herpes
Christopher's fucking
immediately.
hilarious.
So we're wrapping up this episode of the Kentucky Derby. We've seen a lot of good
Christopher's
stuff.
fucking awesome.
You guys, Kentucky Derby is racing. Horse
Yes,
racing.
exactly.